I am your friend Dr. Charles Apoki. I've been dwelling on value the currency of life. From there I went to 7 pillars of wisdom, and I've dwelt on 2 pillars of wisdom, and I'm dwelling on the third one, discretion. Discretion seems to be a long part of this study, but I want to take family values before I go on to talk about discretion in more details. In fact, what I read from the book of Esther blew my mind. But I want to start with family values, and I will link this up with Mordecai and Esther in the book of Esther. Now, in Genesis chapter 18, from verse 18, the Bible says, Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on the earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord, by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. This is my 30-year-old Bible. Now, the angels visited Abraham, and as they were about to leave, they had to make this declaration to Abraham. That number 1, Abraham will surely become a great nation, and that all the nations of the earth will be blessed through him. Looking at Abraham, whose wife had not conceived, Abraham was well stricken in age. God was speaking to him that he was going to become a father of nations, that a nation will come out of him, and that a great nation will come out of him. In fact, it was great nations that came out of Abraham, and that the whole world will be blessed. Now, out of Abraham came Isaac. Isaac gave birth to Jacob and Esau. Esau had his own children. Jacob had his own children. And from Ishmael, a lot of the Arab nations emerged. So here was a man that was barren, but God was addressing the potential, the purpose, the promises, the projection that he had for him. That Bible I dropped now, about 30 years back, I had that Bible. But around 26 years back, I was passing through great challenges, and I was reading from that Bible, and I marked places. You shall be known as the priest of the Lord, and you shall eat the wealth of nations. Yesterday, my birthday, I received messages like as I've never received before in my 65 years of existence. Birthday wishes from all over the world, all the continents of the world. In fact, the mentorship group, the 2 mentorship groups we have, were loaded with birthday wishes, and so also on Facebook. So when I underlined those things concerning my global life that was going to happen, there was nothing that resembled that. So don't give up on yourself. Don't let your circumstances now determine the circumference of your hope and the circumference of your faith in God. Don't ever imagine that this is the limit of who you can become. But a great nation coming out of Abraham was based on the fact that Abraham was going to teach his children to be just and to be righteous, to have a right standing with God. Abraham was going to teach his children that, and it was based on that the promises of God could be fulfilled in Abraham and his descendants. So, I just want to look at a few things. Since 1901 to 2023, 965 people have won the Nobel Prize in economics, and 214 of them are are Jewish. That makes 22% of the population of those who have won the Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize, yes. Now, 65.4% of Nobel Prize winners are either Christians or those who hold Christian background. Jews are only 0.2% of the world's population. If they have won 22% of the Nobel Prizes, that means they've won 110% proportionately. 0.2% winning 22% of the Nobel Prizes. That means they have 110% proportionately. In chemistry, Jews have won 19% of the Nobel Prizes. In economics, 41% of the total people that have won Nobel Prizes are of Jewish extraction. In literature, 13%, including Bob Dylan. For peace, only 8%. I can understand that. Physics, 25% of those who have won Nobel Prizes, including Albert Einstein, are Jewish. In physiology/medicine, 26% have won the Nobel Prize. Now, I now went to check what is responsible for this disproportionate percentage of Jews winning Nobel Prizes. 0.2% winning 22%, constituting 22% of those who have won the Nobel Prize. And I found out that according to Gestell is Gestl, writing on 8 December 2022, said, it is the Jewish cultural values based on family upbringing, dedication to education, self-motivation, persistence, resilience in the face of adversity, and just plain hard work that undoubtedly contributes to these results. So, cultural values, family values, family upbringing that leads to dedication to education, self-motivation, persistence, resilience in the face of adversity, and just plain hard work. And so, I was preaching in church today. My pastor gave me permission to preach. And I was telling them that by the age of 2, parents have started taking their children away from home to go to school from morning till maybe 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. The child continues like that until the child is 16, 17, or even 14. The child goes to university. From university, the child goes to National Youth Service. From there, it goes overseas. So you really have not had time to train your children, to inculcate family values into them. There are some things I don't do. Number 1, I don't commit adultery because my father put it in my head. And I believed him that anytime you commit adultery, that 1 year is taken out of your life. And because I heard it when I was young, and I trusted my father, it entered my spirit, and I believed it subconsciously. Until today, it frightens me. Even if there was no heaven, even if God was not going to punish me, it frightens me. Number 2, I don't owe any bank. I don't borrow money from banks because my father warned me never to take money from banks. The only time I took money was when I wanted to open the hospital in 1988, and I regretted ever taking money from the bank. So I don't take money from banks. I don't owe any bank. It is only urine that wakes me up. Number 3, my mother, anytime you come to that house with something that is not your own, she will know. And you must return it to where you took it from if you cannot explain it. So another man's thing does not entice me. Nobody's property, nobody's successes. What does not belong to me does not belong to me. Number 4, if they beat you outside and you cry home, my mother will beat you and tell you to go back. That she prefers to apologize to another mother than to go and fight with another mother because of your own laziness. So it hardened me, strengthened me. You don't intimidate me, I fight you. So these are things I learned from non-Christian parents as at that time. Quite dysfunctional family, but they remain. So what values are you ingraining in your children? Now, there is a contest between family values and Western values. A lot of Western values are contrary to godly values and traditional African, Jewish, and Arab values, even Asian values. This one of not knowing your gender until you become, you are allowed to choose your gender, is not part of godly values, is not part of African values, is not part of Asian values. These values that you can't, a child can call the police for a father and then they take the child away from the father, is not part of our value system. And so you now see that there is a culture out there where the children are learning from. They are learning from television, they are learning from celebrities, they are learning from influencers who are not godly. Today in church, I asked the parents, I asked the Sunday school superintendent, do you know Andrew Tate? He doesn't know. I asked his 15-year-old or 14-year-old son, do you know Andrew Tate? He said yes. I asked the father, do you know OBO? He doesn't know OBO. I asked the son, do you know OBO? The son knows OBO. OBO is Davido. The father doesn't know who the children are listening to. And so our children are not with us. Our children are learning from social media, and they are copying social media, copying celebrities that we call yeye-brities in Nigeria. People, stupid, lousy people who have become notorious on social media. You will see core Igbo values. You will see people from places. If you look on TikTok, there is a particular part of Nigeria where women, it don't happen again, this one, portraying rubbish values on social media. Those people are culturally not like that. They are culturally very disciplined and decent people. One time, Miri came and some other things. The Igbo people are very conservative people. That's why you see they have done well in business, because the business enterprising nature is passed from one generation to the other, one person to the other within the family. So you price something here in Onitsha market, you go to the next shop, it's related to the person you price from, or this person trained him. And that's why they are the 6th richest tribe in the world. If you look at the Yorubas, they have their own cultural values. You look at the Northerners, they have their own cultural values. And these people are doing very well. It is most of us, the minorities, who I am from, so-called minority. We who are from the minorities, we seem to imbibe the cultural practices of the majority because we seem overwhelmed. And look at the descendants of Abraham. The descendants of Abraham, you have Ishmael, you have the Arabs. Now, if you look at the Arab nations that have core principles, traditional principles that are family-based, they have done well economically, they've done well even politically. They are more stable than several of the so-called Western democracies. In different aspects of life, they have done well, relatively well. Any few radical elements among them are contrary to the cultural practices of the people. Like in Afghanistan in those days, a stranger is not assaulted or not treated badly. Just before the American invasion, that culture still remained. The Jega meeting is still going on. And so, these core values, family values, must be restarted, must be reinstated, must be re-emphasized, must be programmed into the minds of our children. If not, a people without core family values never excel in life. I hope this has made some meaning to you. Spend time with your children. Speak with them. Talk to them. And children, be willing to be obedient, as we will see later when we talk about Esther and Mordecai. Remember, we have just 2 or 3 days to go for the May 1st online seminar on raising families, spending comfortable old age, remaining relevant in old age, retirement, and all that. So send a message to +234 70 52 13 6763 on WhatsApp. I will send you the flyer and you can register. People have registered from all the 5 continents of the world. Number 2, I have properties for sale. I have a special offer. I have plots of 50 feet by 100 feet for sale at 1 million naira per plot. During this period, this offer lasts for a few weeks. You can buy it and pay 4 times, but you will pay for the survey and the deed. The survey is 75,000 naira. I think the deed is about 30 to 50,000 naira. But you can pay 250,000 monthly for 4 months, and you own a piece of the earth. When you send a message to me and you register for the seminar, you will be added to this masterclass. God bless you.